So come on in and take a seat. Warrior class, we got the keys. Dun, 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 dun. To get you where you need to be, just study our show, and you're gonna grow like crazy. Watching you will see. Dun, 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 dun. Warrior class, we got the keys. Just watch our show, 'cause it's for you and your babies.
Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whoop ass.
And you
will
too,
too if you pass.
All right. So we are getting to the Rucking episode. But first, we want to deal with any news. So, you got any news for us, homie Nikki?
Actually, I have something interesting on. We have a local radio station here in Atlanta called WRC. It's a community supported radio station, and I heard a piece of news on there last night that I thought was interesting and definitely related to us keeping our children safe. The Atlanta public school system is going to be revamping, and one part of their plan is to consolidate schools, particularly. I think they have 16 elementary schools, or it's something like that. It was they threw out the number 16, but they're going to be basically closing some schools and bringing the two or possibly more schools together into one building. And they make it sound like, it's going to be more efficient and the occupancy rates or all of that is going to be better. But what it sounds like, one of the major issues is going to be is children basically having to go to a school that's much further from their home than, the school that they were previously attending. And, in order to do that, they're going to have to take public transportation. We're talking about elementary school age children having to take public transportation, having to, possibly walk further distances. And I'm sure that any parent or, just adult listening can understand why that would be a problem, because more and more we're seeing children coming up missing. We're hearing more and more stories about abductions and just disappearances in general. And now we're going to place children at this very vulnerable age among strangers more and more. So I thought, that was very concerning to me. Obviously,
they can't provide busing for the children.
That is so. One of the issues with the story that they rolled out last night was that they're being very secretive about what even is happening. All they have rolled out is that all of these schools are going to be closing, and that the populations are going to be getting consolidated into other schools. But they won't even provide a map. They won't provide any detailed information about how this is going to happen.
Oh boy, Atlanta is in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't really send mine to public school until they get older.
Right. Can handle themselves.
Right.
Hello, Kiki.
Hi.
Man, that's bad.
Yeah,
I do have family that's in public school, but they're older too. Nobody is.
Yeah, you got a nephew, Jason.
Yeah. Well, I got my nephew Jason. He's in elementary school, so.
Yeah. I mean, I've lost my thought for a second, but
It's not in his neighborhood either, so.
yeah, they talk about how terrible Marta is. The people who make these decisions are always, disparaging Marta, and now you're basically going to place these children onto public transportation system, and just, I guess, hope for the best or not.
Right. That's crazy. Crazy. And Belay, for you all out there, Belay is working a job, so he won't be on today's show. All right. But he did share some news. Let's see. So he put up. He brought news about putting your arms up creates confidence. Putting your arms up creates confidence. You can do certain things to the body, and testosterone increases, cortisol decreases by 25%. It causes several biological changes in the body by just putting your arms up. Arms up equals victory. It responds by producing molecular changes. 2 minutes of arms up increases success rate by 40%. Stand like you own something. The discomfort means it's working. Do this every morning and before difficult situations or whenever your confidence is dropping. The neural reset protocol uses postural something for permanent confidence. So you can take up position like this as you're standing, arms up equal victory. Hey, and it will lower your cortisol, increase testosterone. So
Yeah. He sent both of us the video, and that actually is something that I learned about 2 or 3 years ago. So I've been practicing that. Like, if I go in for job interviews, even if I'm at work, and it might have been longer than 3 years ago, actually, because I'm thinking about a situation I was in. But even if I'm going, say if you end up in an HR situation at work, and or any type of situation where a person is trying to make you wait as a strategy to build, like possibly you being nervous about the situation. Not only the video that I saw about it, not only talked about holding your arms up, but also being just in a relaxed position, like how people do when they put their feet up on, a desk, like they own the place. So that's a good one, just kind of laying back. Another thing that I remember, the thing that I saw talked about was not being on your phone. Because if you think about it, that phone position where you're kind of making yourself smaller, looking over into the phone, like you don't want to do any type of posture that's going to make you feel like you're making yourself smaller, because that has the opposite effect of the victory positions. So, let's use those and see how they work. But I can definitely say they have worked for me.
good. Now I know, in the African martial arts, you take up positions and based on how you're standing, or acting. So you if you act angry in 5 minutes and 20 seconds, which is the time it takes for the light from the sun to strike the earth, by the way, you'll be angry for real.
Yeah, boom.
So you can do stuff like that.
It was like muscle.
They do it in acting too. You can make yourself sad. You can make yourself happy. You can do different stuff like that. So, any other news?
No, I had a bit of news. I heard that story last night. Before that, I had a bit of news for the week, but I can't remember what it was. So maybe if we have time later and I remember, I'll go back to it.
Okay, so we're going to get into rucking. Rucking is a simple yet highly effective form of fitness that involves walking or hiking with a weighted backpack. Everybody who's been in the military, you know what rucking is. All right. Well, in the Army and the Marines, I don't know if the F. I got to ask my sister. I don't know if they ruck, except for pararescue people, which is a tier one agency. They're special ops, pararescue. I know, or the Navy, if they ruck, except for like the SEALs and SWIC, stuff like that. But the Army and the Marines, you start rucking in basic training, and a lot of jobs, especially if you're combat arms, you ruck at least once a month, some miles. Okay. But rucking is a simple yet highly effective form of fitness that involves walking or hiking with a weighted backpack. Originally used in military training to build strength and endurance, rucking has become a popular workout for anyone looking to improve cardio, core stability, and overall fitness without high-impact stress on the joints. Unlike running, rucking provides low-impact resistance training, making it an ideal workout for beginners, hikers, and fitness enthusiasts alike. It strengthens your legs, back, and core while also improving cardiovascular endurance, all by simply walking with weight. Whether you're hitting the trails, walking around your neighborhood, or training for an endurance event, rucking is a scalable workout that can be adapted to any fitness level.
How about rucking is more than just walking with weight. It's a full body workout that improves strength, endurance, and cardiovascular health without the wear and tear of high impact exercises like running. Here's why it's a game changer. Carrying weight while walking engages multiple muscle groups, including your legs, core, back, and shoulders. Over time, this builds endurance, improves posture, and increases overall stability, making you stronger in everyday moments.
Movements.
Excuse me. And moments.
Unlike running, rucking is gentler on the joints while still delivering impressive fitness benefits. The added weight forces your muscles to work harder, but without the pounding impact of high-intensity cardio, reducing the risk of injury while strengthening your body. One of the best things about rucking, you can do it anywhere. Whether you're hiking on trails, walking through your neighborhood, or hitting city streets, rucking is a versatile workout that fits seamlessly into any routine. No gym required.
Yeah, that's valuable. Adding weight to your walk ramps up calorie burn without the need for complicated workouts. The extra resistance forces your body to work harder, increasing energy expenditure while also improving endurance, mental toughness, and overall fitness. Rucking isn't just a workout. It's a practical, scalable way to get stronger, improve endurance, and challenge yourself in a way that fits your lifestyle.
It's tempting to load up your rucksack and push yourself from day one, but starting too heavy can lead to fatigue and poor form. A good starting point for most beginners is 10 to 20 pounds, but your ideal weight depends on your fitness level and goals. As you get stronger, gradually add more weight in small increments to challenge your endurance and strength without overloading your body. Rucking isn't just about carrying weight, it's about carrying it correctly. Keep your back straight, shoulders relaxed, and chest up to avoid unnecessary strain on your spine and joints. Engage your core and take steady, controlled steps to ensure balance and proper alignment. Poor posture can lead to back pain and fatigue, so always focus on maintaining a strong and upright position.
The right equipment can make all the difference in your comfort and performance. Invest in a well-fitted rucksack with padded straps and a secure fit to prevent unnecessary shifting. Pair it with a sturdy, supportive footwear, hiking boots, or high-quality running shoes to protect your feet and joints from long-distance stress. Avoid loose-fitting packs that bounce or dig into your shoulders, as they can cause discomfort over time.
Rucking is a demanding activity that requires proper hydration and nutrition. Drink water before, during, and after your ruck to prevent dehydration and maintain endurance. For longer rucks, consider electrolyte supplements to replace minerals lost through sweat, and eating balanced meals with protein, carbs, and healthy fats ensures your muscles stay fueled and recover efficiently after your workout.
Building endurance takes time, and overloading too soon can lead to exhaustion or injury. Gradually increase your rucking distance and weight as your body adapts. Start with shorter rucks of 1 to 2 miles and a moderate weight. Then slowly work your way up to longer distances with heavier loads. Pay attention to any pain, discomfort, or fatigue. Progression should feel challenging, but not overwhelming. If something feels off, adjust accordingly to prevent overuse injuries. By following the aforementioned tips, you'll build strength, improve endurance, and maximize the benefit of rucking while keeping your training safe and effective.
And remember these tips to keep you healthy and safe and help you get the most out of your next rucking workout and every one for years to come. Rucking safely starts with how you load your pack. Keep the weight high up in the rucksack and close to your spine. This setup allows you to support the weight with an upright, healthy posture. If your shoulders roll forward and you lean too far forward, you put more pressure on your back and neck.
Another simple rucking tip that pays off big time: shake. Shake. Take short, frequent steps. A long stride increases the stress on your joints and back. Rucking is most efficient and safe when you shuffle with shorter steps, landing in the middle of your foot instead of your heel. It's called the airborne shuffle because it mimics Army soldiers, loaded with equipment, walking fast to meet their objective.
Proper hydration and good fueling begin the day before your ruck march. Especially when the weather is hot or cold, you must drink plenty of water and eat nutritious foods the day before the march, and of course on the day of. While rucking, keep a hydration bladder in your rucksack and bring a few healthy snacks, especially if you're gone for more than an hour. Finally, don't forget to hydrate after your ruck march. So you do it before, during, and after. Drink plenty of fluids and eat a balanced meal to help your body recover and prepare for your next workout.
When you're wearing a weighted rucksack, don't run. We recommend keeping these two exercises separate. Your back and joints will be better off without combining the pounding of running with the weight of rucking. Both exercises have their place, but keep them separate.
And there are a few things you can do to stay safe while rucking. Follow these safety rucking tips each time you load up your rucksack and head out the door. Always tell someone where you're headed. That's number one. Bring enough water and fuel for changes of plan or emergencies. Bring your cell phone. Wear something reflective. Very important. Stay aware of your surroundings. Leave your earphones behind. Keep your gear dry. If you're rucking far from home, keep a rain cover handy so your extra shirts and socks and electronic devices don't get caught in the heavy rain.
A pair of athletic shoes will only take you so far with a rucksack. As you add weight and distance to your workouts, the risk of rolling an ankle increases. Your feet and ankles will be grateful for supportive footwear. When you're at the beach or tossing a football around the yard, go barefoot. A few minutes of light barefoot exercise can help build durability in your feet and ankles.
1/3 of your body weight for a rucksack is a great goal to work up to over time, and it's not necessary to exceed it. If you need a bigger challenge, so if you weigh 99 pounds, your rucksack should weigh 33 pounds. I weigh 200 pounds, so my rucksack goal should be 1/3 of my weight.
67.
Right. If you need a bigger challenge, increase speed or distance instead of weight. If you got a big event coming up and feel the need to add more than 1/3 of your body weight, progress gradually to make sure you stay healthy.
Stay away from cotton socks. Wool socks fit the foot without sliding around, move sweat away from your skin, and dry quickly. That means no blisters. When your feet are happy, you can ruck longer and won't have to skip workouts. Sock tip. It never hurts to keep an extra pair of socks in your rucksack, especially if you're expecting wet conditions.
You know, I was in ROTC in college, and we had a couple of brothers and sisters wear cotton socks in their boots.
Wow.
And we knew it after a while because they were hurting. Feet blistering, smelling. you gotta put on wool.
Right. Wool. There's a lot of wool blend out there available for reasonable prices too. So
Right.
Just gotta keep an eye out.
Right. The Ruck March standard is 15 minutes a mile. Beginner ruckers should keep their pace under 20 minutes per mile, but 15 minutes per mile is a great goal. That's where you'll maximize the benefit of building muscle and strength while improving cardio and endurance.
Rucking, like everything else that's rewarding, is something that we all improve at over time. The more you do, the stronger you'll get, and the more benefits you'll reap. Take one step at a time and learn something about yourself along the way. Here's the best of all the rucking tips. Humans are better than hardware. Outside is better than inside, and together is better than alone. Carry that with you, and you'll get the most out of every mile.
And
That reminds me of an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
right. Humans are better than hardware. Outside is better than inside. So outside is better than inside.
Yeah,
and together is better than alone. Just always remember that.
yeah, well,
That's a rule of rucking and a rule of life.
absolutely.
You know. So peace to Darian, Emmanuel Briggs.
I was gonna say we haven't said anything to the chat. I actually ran downstairs to get my purse because I left my phone, and I almost died when I came back and had to read like immediately. But I made it.
So how's everybody doing out there?
Let's see if I can find my news.
My week has been cool, except for yesterday I got food poison, so my stomach is really hurting now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you have activated charcoal, Baba? Did you take some activated charcoal?
No, my wife has it at her shop, but I didn't. Well, I didn't know I had food poisoning until this morning.
Oh.
Like a few minutes before the show. So, no, not dining out, Brittany. Well, yeah. To be honest, I bought. Well, my wife bought me a. We went to our other house yesterday, and we stopped at Tim Hortons and got. Well, I got a cruller, a honey cruller. My daughter Okikiola, she got a honey cruller, and my wife got a blueberry muffin. But my wife ate part of my cruller, and I'm the only one who got sick because they both every day they take sour sop and let me see. Here it is. It's sea moss, moringa, oregano, turmeric, and black seed oil, and sour. Well, it's sour sop. It's a herbal blend, and they take it every day. I got some myself. I'm about to start taking it after I get over the sickness, and. We had DB yesterday, but I know it's not the DB. I know it's the DB is grilled lamb, but I know it's not that. I know it's the cruller because we divined on it. We found out what it was, but yeah. So yes, Brittany, we were dining out, but really just snacking out. And I'm paying for it now. That's not saying that you all can't snack out. That's just saying that I won't be snacking out at damn Tim Hortons no more and getting no honey cruller. So
yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean it's important, and since we were talking about rucking also, which can be very important for if we get into a what we call a shit hits the fan situation out here. One of the things that you would definitely want to have in your pack is activated charcoal because it pulls toxins out of your system. So and it's an important thing to have just at your home. So anyone who's listening, if you feel like you're experiencing food poisoning, you can look up the directions. I forget how much you take exactly because I haven't had to take any recently, but yeah, it'll help. You can also take it before you go out if you think you're going to be drinking. You take it take some before you go out and then take some when you get home after you've been drinking. It really helps take the edge off of any type of hangover or anything like that that you might have. But don't be out there drinking and getting hungover.
Right. Now, the Darion, you said, where can you get the Urban Blend? I believe my wife sells it at her shop. But she gets it from somewhere. But she's not here, so I'll ask her, and I'll let you guys know next week where she gets it from. But this is it. It's got soursop, sea moss, moringa, oregano, turmeric, black seed oil in it. And it doesn't have, I mean, it says liquid drops, but it doesn't have a brand name on it or anything. So that's what it is. So they take it daily. And I'm about to, and my wife gave me a box, and it's sitting in my closet unopened. But I'm about to start taking it because it sure helped them.
Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about, and this is not exactly related to that, but it's something that I was actually talking to Belay about. And I think we mentioned it on the show, is chewing cloves is also a really good daily habit, just as far as like keeping inflammation down. I think it said it helps with your digestion. It helps regulate your blood sugar. It helps with stress. And there was like one or two more things that doing it, that chewing cloves can do. I know it's kind of an intense thing to do because it's kind of like a hard little piece of bark. But what I have found over the past few months with chewing cloves every day is that you just kind of suck on them at first and let it get softer and softer. And eventually it gets so soft that you can chew it and swallow it. Or, you might just...
If you're fasting,
right.
So when you fast, like when we fasted, when I was a Muslim and we would fast for Ramadan, it can make your breath smell foul.
Right. That's the other thing. It helps with
your breath. It helps with your breath. Helps with your health. Mm-hmm. So we would do cloves, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's great. And it, just kind of, if people have like an oral fixation where most people now, you just feel like eating is almost like a hobby, where you just have to have something you got to grab. Oh, I feel like I got to, all of this, I got a taste for this or that. Cloves can really help you because you have something in your mouth. It's not chewing gum, which is not a great habit, but it's something that kind of helps you with that oral fixation too.
All right. So any questions?
And I did find my story, Baba. I'm going to have to read it a little bit, but I did find the bit of news that I wanted to share.
All right. And let me get my my bag so I can show you all what a rucksack looks like.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We had a sister who was in our ELA who I remember when the pandemic started, she was doing like a serious rucking routine where she was going out every day. And she had like a small child too, but she was going out every day doing her rucking with her, increasing the size of her pack every day. It was very encouraging. To be honest, I never really got going with that routine. I used to take long walks, and I would have a pack that was, on the heavier side, but it wasn't like an official rucking type of thing. But this show in itself is encouraging me to start a rucking routine also.
Yeah, I'm gonna start rucking again with my wife, and we gotta buy Okikiola a proper bag. She got a little backpack with fairy wings on it that's not proper. This is proper. So
What's wrong with fairy wings? Hold on. What's the problem?
it's cool for when she's just doing whatever.
It
Just
probably won't hold much weight though, I guess.
and definitely not rucking. So this it has the straps at the bottom that go around the waist to hold it in place, and you should always wear a belt when you ruck if you can. Also, but it's got the padded. So when it goes on my waist, and I would put it on, but I'm sick, like I said, so I'm not gonna put it on. But it snaps around the waist. Got the pads here that hold it in place. It's got some padded, sturdy, handles for the arm. Of course, this pack weighs about 70 pounds because I got all kinds of stuff in it.
Wow.
Including this is a military style
First aid kit.
first aid kit. Yes, AFAC for first aid kit. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff in here, But this is it's not just for rucking. This is also my bug out bag.
Yeah, bro. And that's the point. That's the important thing too. Is
Yeah,
like you said, it's the fan situation.
You should start light, but like I said, you want to build up to about a third of your weight because you may have to bug out with it. And so this is my bug out bag and my rucking bag.
Yeah, bro. Our good brother Emmanuel Briggs asks, what kind of pants or shirt should you wear for rucking? Old military surplus stuff or like something that you might already have?
You can wear something that you already have. Now, like I said, if you wear a belt, you want to wear BDUs, battle dress uniform, BDU pants. And depending on the weather, like if it's warm, you want to wear ripstop. If it's not warm, you want to just wear the regular BDUs. But you could do it with, like I got on some, I don't know if you can see it, but I got on sweats now. And I could wear it because I have the belt down here, the straps, so I could wear it without belts if I had to.
Yeah, so speaking of that, make sure that, like Bob was just showing you with his bug out bag, that also doubles as his rucksack. Make sure that you're keeping your bug out bags fortified, like I mentioned, with the activated charcoal and other supplies. I think we've definitely had several shows on, what kind of supplies you should have in your bug out bag. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. There's a lot going on in the world right now. So,
Yes.
very important. Also, those of you who have your bug out bags, make sure that you're checking them ever so often. Maybe put it on your calendar every 3 months. Go in and check to make sure things aren't expired, and make sure everything's intact the way you need it to be. So
make sure you're like if you got bladed tools, make sure they're sharp. If you got firearms, you want to unload them and reload them to avoid jams and things of that nature. But yeah, so pants you can get away with if you got snaps at the bottom and it's padded so it's tight to the body. You can get away without belts if you had to. Like if something went down right now, I'm not gonna go and change my clothes. I just throw on my ruck and be out. Shirts, you want to wear something that's breathable. And that can be BDU tops or plaid shirts or anything that's breathable. This shirt here is not the best shirt unless it's cold weather. And if it was cold weather, I'd have on a jacket too, and then I throw the ruck on. So it's up to you. I've got several jackets, everything from parka to flight jackets to, I've got all kinds of jackets depending on the weather. We live in Atlanta Metro, and Atlanta Metro can get real funny. Like it was
today.
It was the day before yesterday. It was like 80 degrees.
It was, I think, 74 today before noon. But then like tomorrow night, it's supposed to get into the 30s or something. Or maybe Monday night, it's supposed to get into the 30s. It's so strange here. So you have to make sure that you are prepared for whatever.
Yes.
This time of year, especially.
Right. All right, y'all. Well, if there's no questions,
I do have my news story I wanted to
share. Yeah, please.
I'm just going to read a little bit of it, but it says, step inside the fortified Vine City stash house linked to violent Mexican drug cartel. Vine City, I'm sure most people don't know, but Vine City is the area of Atlanta that is closest to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is the big new stadium that they built, where the Falcons play. Excuse me, sorry, Atlanta people. All right, the brief. GBI agents uncovered a heavily fortified Vine City stash house wired for surveillance and packed with over 500 pounds of marijuana. 3 suspects tied to the cartel Jalisco New Generation were arrested during coordinated raids across metro Atlanta. U.S. officials classify CJNG as a violent transitional cartel behind major drug and weapon trafficking into the United States. And the story starts, behind reinforced doors and barred windows in Atlanta's Vine City neighborhood, state agents say they discovered one of Metro Atlanta's most fortified stash houses, wired for surveillance, packed with hundreds of pounds of marijuana, and protected like a fortress. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said the discovery was part of a 2-day operation that stretched across Atlanta, Sandy Springs, and Woodstock, leading to 3 arrests, 9 seized firearms, and more than 500 pounds of marijuana packaged and ready to sell. Fortified drug stash house in Metro Atlanta. What they're saying, it was wired for audio and video for remote monitoring, said GBI agent Ken Howard. There was a lot of internal and external fortification in the stash house to keep nosy people out. Investigators said the home was outfitted with multiple layers of protection, including steel bars mounted on the inside of the doors and windows. If you equip certain houses and neighborhoods with external fortifications, it attracts the attention of law enforcement, Howard said. In this case, the burglar bars were on the inside. Howard said the operation was just one step into a larger ongoing investigation into drug trafficking networks operating across Georgia. I hope the bad guys are paying attention, he said. Oftentimes, the reason we execute these search warrants is strategic, to beat the bushes to see who runs, to see who can't hold their water. And that leads us to our next move. And of course, the story goes on. But the interesting thing that I found about the story is this is a basically all black neighborhood. Maybe there is I didn't live in Vine City, but I lived in a place called The Bluff, which some of you may have heard of, which is adjacent to Vine City. There was a really bad, I think, Netflix movie or something like that called Snow on the Bluff a few years ago. But it was bad, but it was really interesting. I'll watch it if you get a chance. But this is a mostly black neighborhood where, of course, all of our problems come from us. We bring all these things in, all the guns, all the drug, everything that is in the black neighborhood. Black people are growing out back, must be, But you see this, they bust this stash house. It's so organized, and it is from people who are completely not only outside of our community, but in another country, but they have everything set up like this. Like it said, they have 500 pounds of marijuana packaged and ready for sale. Like, I just thought this is a very telling story.
Yeah. Now, especially this is Atlanta, not Chicago. In Chicago, this place was known. It was a house on the west side. I won't say which area, where it didn't have doors. Obviously, they built it like this. No doors. Where you get just people lived in there, and they would let down this cup or box, and people would stick, groceries in the box, and they would roll them up. That's how the people who lived inside lived. But they would roll down crack. This is when the crack epidemic was, rampant. And by the way, Chicago was the last major city to get crack, because Jeff Ford and the boys were killing off I don't want to say killing. We're fighting off the Hells Angels who were trying to bring crack into Chicago. And they were successful until the government came in and arrested them. Gave Jeff Ford 248 years or something, gave his generals, 100 to 200 years. And that's how they got them all off the street. They got all them off the street, and then crack came in. But this house, they lower a cup, you throw in your $10 or whatever, they roll it up, they get the $10, and then they roll you the crack down. I knew some dudes who frequented the place, and they said they would frequent it, and the police would roll up. Police couldn't get in. There was no doors to knock in. They couldn't get in. So these folks, they had a little fortress right in the hood. Now that was real, but I I mean, it's some places here that sell drugs, but I don't see them with 500 pounds of marijuana in the neighborhoods here. I don't see it. Could be, but I don't see it.
So you think it's a fake story?
I think the GBI is lying. Why I don't know, but
I mean, I could see some
you
reasons
know,
why they would lie.
government agencies do lie from time to time.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's just like anyone who's trying to justify their existence, you know.
that's true. Yeah.
It could be that. But I did take the story at face value, I will admit.
I mean, it could be, but I don't know. I've only been to Valiant City like once in my life, so I really can't speak on what it's like there.
Right.
And I've been to the Bluff maybe twice. I wanted to go to the Bluff to speak to the gang members there, and I told a certain brother that I wanted to do that, and he said he thought that I was crazy. Not that I was not crazy, but that it was dangerous. Yeah, and I can get killed.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I can get killed, goddamn, walking out in these tree-lined streets where I live.
Tree line.
So that's not, that's not.
It's true.
Something that I worry about, but I really felt that most gang members here now in Chicago is different beast, but most gang members here, especially if they're trying to be Crips, Bloods, Gangster Disciples, Vice Lords, like in other cities, they're really looking for family, guidance, and
something to belong to.
Right. And I was going to give them that.
Yeah, but you likely would have caught a few, most definitely.
Yeah. Now, I tried to do that in Chicago. When I was in the nation, we were getting buses to go to different neighborhoods, and I was successful. And the reason I was successful, a couple of brothers, they threw these parties at this club called Barney's. And the idea was, if you party at Barney's today, you get a free ride on a bus tomorrow to go to the mosque. And oh boy, we would get them. And I never told the other brothers that were from the south side. We were from the west side. I never told the brothers from the south side what we were doing. They were like, "How you do that? How do you do this? You filled up." It came to the point I was filling up 3 buses, but not just me, but the brothers from the west side.
The operation.
But it was a mistake because of who my cousin is. But a gang leader came to me and said, you gotta stop. My people ain't getting on that bus no more. They get on that bus, they're gonna disappear, and you will too. And what did he say that for? Because the gang he belonged to, one of my cousins was a 5-star elite in that organization. And so I know a lot of the brothers, they got my back, blah, blah, blah. So I told him, and he had a talk with that brother, and all that shit shut up. But if I didn't have that connection, I probably would have stopped. I probably would have stopped bringing the bus there because I mean this was a gang, well, chief enforcer for a certain gang, and I wasn't playing around with that. But like I said, I got family, so I leaned on family for that one.
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah. So it depends on where you live. Some stories are true that the police are saying, but a lot of those stories be lying, or they're the ones doing the crime.
Right.
So
Wow.
I always remember that too.
Wow.
If
Good
you
lesson.
hear about it, because I this is something else I saw. I saw these dudes who I knew were cops, but they were well, sheriffs. They're still cops, but they had on plain clothes, drove a plain car, and they went into this house. I saw them. They went to this house, went in, stayed probably 3 minutes, left. I heard later that everybody in that house was killed. And I know those were cops. So, cops will do in Chicago, at least, they'll do hits and all kinds of jobs on people. Not all cops, of course, but you got cops who will do hits on people. You got cops selling dope, bunch of cops taking dope, so. Yeah.
I was gonna say one other thing about the Bluff. I remember the place that I lived in the Bluff. I lived in a brand new house with my best friend and our two small children. Each of us had one, and I didn't have a car. I worked not too far, basically in downtown Atlanta at different places, kind of like I do now. But I used to walk 4 o'clock in the morning. I would walk to the train station because the bus wasn't running. It'd be like 4:30 in the morning. Never had any problems. Never had anyone try to do anything to me. I mean, honestly, there's still people out, in that neighborhood at 4:30 in the morning. It's not like the middle of the day, but you definitely are constantly passing people, but I never had a lot of issues in that neighborhood. Someone stole my rake off my porch once, and I knew exactly who it was. Who took it. As a matter of fact, before I left, he because he used to do my yard work. Before I left, he let me borrow my own rake because I couldn't remember what I needed to do. But this is like a couple years later. And I never said anything. I just gave it back to him. But I remember there was a sister who came down. She lived up north. And at that time you could get property in the Bluff for next to nothing. So I guess she had some money some kind of way. And she saw how cheap whatever property she wanted was. So she just bought it sight unseen. She had never been to Atlanta or anything like that. So she comes down and she sees the neighborhood that it's in, and she is like, "Oh my God," So right, so she comes just randomly to our house because we lived in the nicest house in the neighborhood. Knocks on the door and like starts asking me about the neighborhood, and I was like, I told her the same thing I just said. I never had any problems. Nobody ever tried to break into nothing like that ever happened. I lived there for 3 years. And I never saw her again. I guess I don't know what she wanted me to tell her, but I think she ended up selling that house, or maybe she just kept it, but she never came back. Like I never saw her again. So it looks bad, people, it definitely looks bad from the outside, but from living there, I didn't have a lot of problems.
Now, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, right? And in a rough area. I remember a friend of mine from the south side, he came over, came over with his girlfriend. And we're on the block chilling. He drove up and got out the car, of course, vibing with us. I said, hey, I want to meet your girlfriend. Why don't she get out the car? She was looking terrified.
Wow.
And so I said, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, She let down the window a crack and talked to her. And then I started watching her the whole time we talking and doing whatever. I was watching her. I said, man, you need to go and check on your girl. She was in the car shaking, crying.
Wow.
Crying, literally. Shaking. I said, check on your girl, man. He said, man, bump her. But he didn't say bump. I said, man, check on your girl, man.
Yeah, you're going to bring somebody out there who you won't even check on.
Well, she did, yeah, but she embarrassed him because she crying. And so he went and said, what's going on with you? And blah, blah, blah. And they were talking. And then he said, man, I got to go, man. But he said, I'll come back later, and chill with y'all because I got to take her ass home. And he had to take her home, but she was messed up. I'm like, damn, if I had thinner skin, I'd be insulted.
Right.
And she like that. Now, when I came down here, though, me and my wife, we went to this meeting in Stone Mountain. And because we were living in Stone Mountain at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what, I think it's just a meeting of business people or whatever. So we met with them. We broke into groups and stuff. And, my wife's from Atlanta. I said, I'm from the west side of Chicago. And they said, hey, brother, you say you're from Chicago. Come over here and get with us because we all from Chicago. Like, cool. And so I'm with them and stuff. But I know it's gonna come up whenever if you meet somebody who says they're from Chicago and they don't ask you what side you're from, they're bullshitting. So we went to the group. Well, I went to the group. My wife was in her own group, whatever. And they said, so what side are you from? Everybody, they're asking everybody. I said, I'm from the west side. And visibly, people took a step back. They took a step back from me. I said, oh really? Y'all gonna do me like that, huh? He said, what? I said, you all may not even recognize you all took a step back. All of them. I said, because I obviously y'all some Southsiders. I could tell that. What?
That hurts, Baba. I never did you like that.
No, you haven't, because now I'm a Atlanta guy, but and so after that, me and my wife, we never went back to that. She said, they did what? I said, yeah, they backed away from me and stuff, Now the west side is crazy. It was. It's not now. I took my wife to my house. Now it's been renovated. It's all glass and it's all new and shit. Cause now I said I want to go in our neighborhood there. She said, yeah, go. I want to see the neighborhood. I said, okay. So we hit 16th Street, and she said, oh, this is different here. I said, yeah. I said, wait till you hit my block, right? And we hit my block, man.
It was different.
Yeah. I said, what the fuck? Where's 1802 South St. Louis? I keep driving past it. I said, this is it. It was glass in the job. And my wife was like, this is where you grew up. I said, no, I swear I didn't grow up here. I said, I grew up in a granite building that I would fight off rats and I said, no, we didn't grow up like that. All the stories I told you are true. I didn't grow up like this. She said, man, you grew up better than me. I said, I did not. I'm telling you, this ain't our place, you know. So the Empress reigns. I'm from Chicago. I live in Chicago now. Nobody has ever been evil towards me, but folks do have bad attitudes. Now, yeah, nobody been evil towards me. When I was living there, I was living during the height of crack and before that, but nobody was ever evil to me. Not to me anyway. I had a reputation in Chicago anyway, as a mug who bust your head. But I would have to defend mothers sometime for the son selling the TV or refrigerator, and I would have to defend mothers sometime. And some mothers, you know, threatened to call the police on me after I defended them and waxed their son. they would want to call the police on me and stuff like that. But and I got away with that too. But mainly because my best friend Anthony Morgan, he would talk up for me. He said, "Look, you got him to get your TV back or your refrigerator back, but now you're tripping because he took it too far in your mind."
Right.
Everybody would joke about me. They were like, "Man, you hit that dude, knocked him down, then you ran up the side of the building, grabbed both your ankles, and dropped your knee down on him." I said, "I didn't do that. You know, I didn't remember what I did.
So you can't say for sure that you did.
Well, I know I can't run up the side of the building and jump off and hold my ankles and drop my knee on somebody. I can't do that.
Jumped off the top turn.
I could drop a knee on somebody now, and I probably did do that. But the time I was holding my ankle and drop, I wasn't doing that. Let me see. My friends were notorious, though. Yeah, like I was notorious. So, you know, and notorious in Chicago is bad for any place else. Let me see. I feel like we'll never be able to prove it, but I'll bet there's a lot police department gang violence and shootings in black neighborhoods and carried out by cops or others and pinned on random black folks. Yeah,
for sure.
Of course it is.
Definitely.
Of course. Now, that's one thing that's good about Chicago. In Chicago, if the police do something, usually somebody knows that there was a cop. And the people will get together and visit the local police division or whatever and fuck those police up. So, and that's Chicago. I don't know about other cities if they do that, but Chicago is notorious for that.
Is ICE still running around up there supposedly?
Yeah, well, see, yeah. Yes, they are. And in my sister's neighborhood, and she lives, you know, near the lake. They went through her neighborhood even. And they were snatching people up, and they take you if you had identification. Of course, they let you go. You just go home, but they already snatched you.
Right.
I just came back from there a couple of weeks ago, and I went to everywhere I was going anyway. Now my wife, she loves to go to beaches wherever she goes. So Lake Michigan, oh boy, she loved it. And I said, we can go to Lake Michigan, but we can't be out there too long because I don't want to be rolled up on by ICE agents, you know. But we were out there. We, went to certain restaurants, but most of the time we were in Hyde Park, so ICE wasn't coming to Hyde Park. All the rich folks in Hyde Park, they wouldn't come to Hyde Park. They weren't coming to Hyde Park. But my sister lives near Hyde Park.
Yeah, my uncle lives near Hyde Park, but he's not rich.
Yeah. Some people think my sister and my mother are rich, but they're not rich. But they rolled up on, like I said, on their neighborhood. So yeah, it's bad, but particularly if you are if you're Hispanic, because they're hitting the north side of Chicago, where Hispanics live in the southwest side of Chicago, where they live. They're running roughshod in those areas. But I had told my family anyway, while I'm here, if any of us running the ICE and I'm not around, give me a call. Give me a call, because I guarantee you. Well, I just say I guarantee you. So, yeah. But yeah, they're running rampant. But you're going to do that so long in Chicago, or they're going to put a hit on your ass. And they now, I don't know if this is government or if this is true, but the gang members have put a hit on ICE agents in Chicago now. I think $100,000 you pop an ICE agent. So I'm like, damn. And I found that out while we were in Chicago. I'm like, shit, I can go for $100,000. This shit. So I don't know. I don't know. But I was like, this may be the government using that, like saying it was them,
right?
So I don't know. Because I'm like, how did the public find that out? Especially the cops. The blue-green color looks almost tropical sometimes. The blue-green color.
I guess in Lake Michigan, maybe.
I guess so. I don't know. Not a fan of HP.
Hyde Park.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you. Hyde Park, when I was young, like in my late teens, early 20s, it was mainly black. You had black-owned coffee house, which I went to all the time. There were two of them. You had black-owned restaurants and all kinds of stuff. Of course, you have a Jewish component that lives there too. But so I was telling my wife about it. I said, it's a very black place, blah, 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 blah. And when this was years ago, we went to Chicago. and went to Hyde Park. Now the restaurants still great restaurants, but I saw maybe for every 20 whites and Asians, I saw a black person. She was like, "What in the world? This place ain't black." I said, "It was. It's not now."
Mhm.
God damn. So
Yeah, it's like Harlem.
she said back in the day, everything here was black and good. Yes, that's true. That's true. My high school, Whitney Young, was 85% black when I was at Whitney Young. I went there from the academic center up through high school. Now it's 85% white.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I used to be proud of it. I'm like, this is, it was a number one school in the nation, number one public school in the nation. And it was black. Now it's white mainly. Today we got too many wannabe white migrants and bourgeoisie blacks. I haven't run into any bougie black folk in Chicago. Now, down here in Atlanta, oh my gosh, yes. but
that girl was bougie. The one who sat in the car.
oh yeah. Now she was bougie. Yeah, she was bougie. So I've seen bougie black folk, but not ran into them like that, except for that one. But of course, I know there got to be some bourgeois blacks there. Chicago used to have I don't know if they still do, but had the most black millionaires of any other city in the United States. So, of course, you had to have bourgeois blacks.
Right.
And because you're a millionaire, that doesn't make you bougie, but it can help. It can help.
It increases the likelihood.
Right. So, because my sister and her husband, they're millionaires, but they live in California, not in Chicago. And my sister comes to Chicago and still goes to certain restaurants. Grocery stores in the hood and all that. Now, even when I was living in Chicago, I wasn't going to no grocery store in the hood. I was not doing it. Except when I was little and my mother would say, go and get me a can of vegetables or something. I'd go to the hood grocery store across Ogden Avenue, but Bilko. But as I got older and able to drive, she said, go get me a can of vegetables. I'm going to Whole Foods.
Or the fresh market. They got the fresh market, right?
I don't know.
Or it's something like the fresh market. I know it was near Hyde Park, like I said, with my
now,
uncle.
well, we would go the last couple of times we've been there, and my wife found out from my sister Phyllis, my older sister. We would go to Pete's, and Pete's is a marketplace.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard of Pete's.
Yeah, it's nice. It's about the size of most Kroger down here, but it's a marketplace. It's So yeah, Pete's. Yeah. Jewel Osco. Now, Jewel Osco, we go to that, of course. But my wife likes Pete's now that she's gone to Pete's, but we would hit up Jewel Osco for stuff that, and even now for stuff that we need to grab quick, because my family lives on between 78th and 79th and Saginaw, and Jewel Osco is on. We're really off of the one we go to is off of Stony Island. So now Cermak and Chinatown. Chinatown, you can, if you know where to go, they have some real nice places off the river in Chinatown. Real nice places.
I think she's talking about groceries though.
She said, "Nope FM." Nope FM. Cermak in Chinatown. I don't know what that is, but no, that's Brittany said Jewel Osco.
Right.
And yes, Jewel Osco is a Chicago staple. Yes. The Empress Reigns said, Cermak in Chinatown. So yeah, if you go to Chinatown and you know where to go, there's some really good places off the river that you can go to in Chinatown. Let me see. It was the closest one to me that was reasonably priced. I didn't know you lived in Chicago before, Brittany. Oh, jump. Okay. Now you're in Atlanta, and both places you didn't train with me.
I was going to say, but still not coming to class.
Right. We gotta get you to class, Brittany. I mean, you in Chicago and now you're in Atlanta.
Come on, Brittany.
Yeah, you need to come on.
Ain't nothing funny, Brittany. Come on.
She said, "I'm coming, y'all." All right, we're gonna hold you to it. All right, y'all. So, be safe in your homes. Be safe out in the street.
Yeah, well. Come to class if you're in Atlanta.
Come to class. You're in Atlanta. Ruck, wherever you at.
Yeah, bro.
And stay black or whatever it is that you may be. Love y'all. Peace. Thank you for this great show, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and week and be safe. You too.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.